Hello, my name is Sue Lewis and I'm going to take you through this presentation, which is part of a webinar, and this explains about Careerpilot, how you can use Careerpilot in a range of different ways to meet Gatsby, but how Careerpilot is one website with all the information, tools and advice to support the career journey for young people. So what I'm going to do today is just explain how Careerpilot can help students to become career ready, how Careerpilot can be used in an embedded way at all levels of your school or college, from year 7 right up to year 13 or first and second year college, how then Careerpilot can help you meet the Gatsby benchmarks. So this webinar is the introduction to Careerpilot, which is a quick and quite speedy overview. We also have a follow-up webinar, which is more like a hands-on session, and that's about an hour and a quarter, and that will give you an opportunity to try everything out. So you might want to sign up for that, and I could show you later how to do that. So what does the future look like for your students? Well, in the past, maybe our futures were all about a kind of stair model. You started at one step and you moved up to the next step. Now, careers of the future are likely to be more like this squiggly line, squiggly careers they're called, because we don't really know what's going to happen, and you might have to change quite quickly. Who, for instance, could have predicted COVID? So this is what our students need to understand and need to have the skills to deal with. This little fact I found quite interesting: if you're born after 2002, you might live to 100, and you maybe have 17 jobs and several careers in your quite long working life. So again, that's why students need to be able to manage all these changes. Now, this is quite an old-fashioned picture, really, but in the middle there's the mobile phone, and at that time it was showing all the different things the mobile phone has replaced. If you extended that to now, the mobile phone is like your own cinema and everything else besides. So, one particular technological advance can have a huge impact on lots of other things. It's important for students to know that things will be changing in the future and where the jobs are going to be. And I've just identified 4 particular sectors that are predicted to grow in the future. So it's useful for students to have that sort of labour market information as well. So Careerpilot's got a lot of things to help students manage their own careers, but also get access to the information they need to do that. So Careerpilot is a suite of 4 different zones. Everything really happens from the student zone, but we also have a reporting zone, where you can view students' data, an advisor zone with lesson plans, materials, and a parent zone as well. We also have an optional add-on, which is called the Careerpilot Pathway Planner. So this is a model and a tool for triaging students to find out what their guidance needs might be. So you can target guidance at 3 different levels. So it's optional to add that on. You have to pay to add it on, and I'll explain more about that later. And if you do have it, then that'll appear for students in the student zone. You'll see all the reports in the reporting zone, and in the advisor zone, build the lesson plans and materials you can use to deliver that. So if you're using Careerpilot, that's really going to help you with Gatsby 1, which is to have a stable careers program in place. Just to explain a little bit about the funding for Careerpilot, because you might be lucky enough to be in this green area, and this is what we call a free-to-use area. Now, we have had a recent change in that in Hampshire and Dorset, we're no longer able to provide funding to all schools in that region. Last year, the Sun Uni Connect paid regional subscriptions, then any school or college in that geographical area had free access. This year, they're only paying the subscription for targeted schools, their own targeted Uni Connect schools. So in Hampshire and Dorset, unless you're one of those schools, you will have to pay your own subscriptions. But in that darker green area, 13 universities pay subscriptions, supported by 5 Uni Connects as well, which I'm showing you there, and that enables us to offer it free to any school or college in that geographical area. If you want to add on the Pathway Planner, whether you're in a free-to-use area or not, you have to add that on and pay to do that. If you're outside our free-to-access area, then you pay subscriptions for Careerpilot, and if you want to add on the Pathway Planner, you can, and explain costs at the end of this. So Careerpilot is all about having a whole school approach to careers with the students at the centre. And what we're trying to do is get the students to manage their careers so they can cope with all this different change and flux they might encounter later. So we've got activities for every age group that are progressive, but also link with the decisions they have to make. So in year 7 and 8 might just be exploring, understanding about the range of job sectors, for example. Year 9 might be linked to options, etc. So if you're a careers leader, you can have Careerpilot at the centre of what you're doing. You know that the students are developing their career skills, and also that will give you an opportunity to meet the Gatsby benchmarks. We've got some things to help our 3-stage careers process we try to teach to students so they can come back to it whenever they make a career decision. There's activities set for every year group, and we've got lots of resources to help you deliver, like 5-week PSHE programs, etc. So as a careers leader, you'll be trying to engage lots of other people across the school in doing their bit for careers. So Careerpilot can be something that tutors might signpost students to. PSHE staff might be delivering some aspects of this. Parents and carers, we've got the parent side. We've got activities subject teachers can use to enhance their subject and make it more linked to careers. And of course, everything's leading towards personal guidance. So everything that the students do on Careerpilot will really help that guidance advisor really understand more about what the student needs, but also prepare the students for guidance. If you decide to have the pathway planner, that's going to come in at year 11 and 12. Some schools use it in year 10 and again in year 13. So it's about helping students to understand the different pathways they need to choose at the next phase, and then actually assessing their guidance needs so you can target guidance at them in a particular way that suits their needs. So just a bit more flesh on what I've talked about. I've said activities for every age group. They're available for the students to access through the student site. But in the advisor zone, you'll find presentations that introduce these activities. And as I said, they're progressive. So year 7, exploring jobs to see what you might like. Year 8 and 9 might be your options, as I said. Pathway Planner has slightly different presentations that embed the Pathway Planner in that option choice session. So the lesson is about 50 to 60 minutes. They're available as presentations. You can make them your own. Here's an example. And they're also available as video lessons where somebody in my team is actually delivering the lesson. So who's ever in the classroom can just say, will be told to stop the video, and then students will be doing particular activities. This year, we've also mapped our presentations to the Career Development Framework, which is a new framework of 6 key things everybody needs to have in order to be able to manage their careers into the future. So we have also 5-week PSHE programs for every year group. That presentation I mentioned is the first lesson, but the lesson plans are all there, and the resources that support the 5 lessons are there as well. So you could pick a mix, use what you want from those. And we have lots of other resources too in our advisor zone, like 20-minute activities can be done in tutor time or related to careers that don't require a computer. These are subject-specific resources, so there's 23 for Key Stage 4, 23 for Key Stage 5, and they relate to a particular topic a subject teacher is having to teach, and gives 5 or 6 ideas of how they can actually make that more related to careers, which is obviously Gatsby 4. We've also got things like our hot job posters, which are available in little social media packages as well. So some schools send them out in their newsletters, like do Job of the Week. So these are all jobs predicted to grow. You could print off the posters and post them around the school, or you can send these little social media packages out to students and parents. And that relates to Gatsby too. So we're really keen on students understanding why they need to become managers of their own careers. We've developed a little animated video you can use with their students. So in the video, we talk about why careers is important, but also 4 things they can do to take their career forward. Knowing themselves, their skills, their values, their interests, doing stuff to build their CV and their skills, knowing all their options in some detail, and then using all available support. And a lot of our presentations will kind of try to explain how they could do those things through Careerpilot. We use this specifically with year 11 onwards. So this is Careerpilot. You might have seen it before. This bit is free access, so anybody across the country can use that. But if you're a subscriber, you can get your students to sign in, register here, straight onto the site, and then be signed in so they get access to all the career tools. So the career tools are where they're going to personalise the things they're particularly interested in, and they build their report. And that data can be collated through reports in the reporting zone. As I said, everything happens from the student zone. As teacher will log in the same place as a student. The system will know they're a member of staff. You can also access the advisor zone and the parent zone from this one address, careerpilot.org.uk. So just to show you around a bit, we've got what we call our popular tools, over 800 job profiles, etc., course search, apprenticeship search, and 3-stage process I mentioned before. We try to get students to keep returning to whenever they make a career decision. Start with you, explore your options, plan your next steps, overlaps a bit with our video. All our resources are structured under those 3 stages, but we also have information about the pathway students might already be thinking about, and in here you find information and advice about what to think about if you are interested in A-levels, for example. Behind Careerpilot are all trained careers advisors and ex-teachers. So if you clicked on A-levels, you see on the left the different aspects of information we have about A-levels. There's always videos about that topic, and a kind of summary of what you're going to learn if you read on down, but you can click to the particular bit you're interested in. And then top right, because the student is signed in, they can add anything they like to their bookmarks on this occasion. So you can add your jobs, you can add bookmarks, you can add courses. So whenever there's a little cross, you can add them into your career tools. So the students register straight onto the site. They complete this form, they get asked their postcode, create a password, then they get asked to attribute to say which school or college they're in. If you are a subscriber, it'll be available in this drop-down list, and then your students' data will be collated for you in your reporting zone. One thing you do need to make sure the students know to do is to, we call it tagging, but that just simply means when there's a plus, as I showed you earlier, and they like something, they can add it to their career tools. So this job, animal care worker, they can click on it and then it'll be in their job sectors. As an example, they can get back to it, they can get rid of it if they change their mind, but then it's also in their full report as well. So that's an important bit of learning for the students. So these are the 3 stages of Careerpilot, and I'm going to go through some of these activities. So start with you is about yourself, explore your options, plan your next steps. So start with you, and we've got little how-to videos which are aimed at students, how to use Careerpilot if you need to choose your post-16 options, for example. The activities for your age, you can see there. There's quizzes to get them started. They can start with a subject and see where it might lead. A new tool is start with your values and see what jobs might suit the things you're passionate about. You could do a skills map and see what skills you've already got and think about how you're going to take them further. You can also plan your qualifications on a ladder. I'm just going to show you a few of those things. So the job sector quiz, 50 pictures of things you might want to do in a work situation, and then it'll tell you what sectors is worth you exploring further. They kind of match with the things you're interested in. Start with a subject, 21 subjects, and they could choose something they love, and then it'll show them computing. In this example, what jobs computing could take you on to, degrees, examples of apprenticeships, examples of college courses as well. We also try to link with things like the MOOCs, the free online courses the universities put out. Don't have to have a university degree to do them. Brilliant for post-16 students. Beef up your knowledge about a subject you're interested in, or just get a feel for how that subject would be if you were doing it at university. There's lots of free ones available. So we try to match those into the particular subject they're starting with as well. This is new, the values quiz I mentioned, so you can start with a value you like, something that's important to you, like I want to be creative in my working life. Then you get an idea of jobs, where that might be possible, and also some information about how you can take that forward, or the skills that will give you that you can be talking about. The skills profile is a very popular tool. We've got a pre and a post-16 version. So instead of asking students what skills they've got, which they often find quite challenging to answer, we ask them what they've done in their life, their learning, or their work as well if they're post-16. So questions like, I've kept going with a hobby or sport out of school. And then it's showing them that that example has probably given them a chance to be resilient and stay positive. And what they get is a profile of all their skills. There's a post-16 version. We've got quite a few skills on here. We map to the skills builder 8 skills, but we do have some of our own as well. So in this top example, the student has got 5 examples generated from the things they said through the quiz of teamwork, and they can add their own. So they've got one example they've added themselves. So the way they do that, a form pops up, so it could be anything. It could be any encounter you've set up, or anything they'll be doing, babysitting, whatever it might be. Say what it is, and then they could say what skills it's given them, and they'll all be banked here, so ready for use later. Another nice thing they can do is compare their skills to the skills required for a job. So they put in the name of a job, nurse, doctor, plumber, then they'll be able to see the skills that job requires. They see their own skills alongside it. So it's quite good for them to get a feel of where they're at and what they could be doing. When they come to apply, whether it's applying to get your personal statement together or apply for a job or a course or work experience, they can use their skills to apply, say what they're applying for, and then think of the 4 or 5 skills they most need to flag up. Be different with being a nurse or a plumber, and then they'll see all their examples. So this can be a good way for them to kind of begin that journey of actually referencing your skills and giving good examples of your skills that relate to a job or a course. So that was a quick whiz round start with you. We now want to explore your options, and you can do that in a range of ways. By age, most of my choice is 16. You can look for jobs or courses, apprenticeship vacancies. You can look for providers near to where you live. We've got over 1,000 video stories inside, people talking about their qualifications and their routes and jobs. And you can also see qualifications by level. Just show you a few of those things. So the jobs area is probably the most popular part of the site. You can put in the name of a job, or you can look by sectors. Start with the subject and get to from here as well, and the values on the job quiz. And there's a few other things like you can compare up to 3 jobs, look at salary, working hours, etc. Through the Careerometer, and there's a few other sections there too. So jobs by sector. So you can actually drill down to a sector, and we've got 19 sectors, and each of those sectors divide to 3 subparts. So animal, agriculture, environment, you can drill down to the bit you're interested in, and then you'll find over 800 job profiles. And this is often quite inspirational for students because lots of jobs they don't even know about, so it's great to get them to explore. So within this, you'll get information on what's involved, details about the entry requirements and routes, and a lot more besides. And for Gatsby 2, there's labour market information here as well. So at the top, you can see whether it's predicted to grow over time. This is a prediction of growth from LMI for all. And you can obviously see the skills and videos attached to that job as well. But here's some LMI that we've just added recently. You can see how many people are currently working in this job by region, but also you can see live vacancies as well. So it shows you a little graph of where the jobs are, quite useful. Just, if you're living in the northeast, then there's not many jobs in this particular job, but if you were actually in the southeast, there's quite a lot. But you can also see live job vacancies too. You can also look at courses, so you can search for a degree course, apprenticeship, or look at opportunities for post-16 through providers. I'll just show you a quick example. Degree, you could put the name of the degree, there's also a little drop-down list to give students ideas. You could put in the postcode, where you live, and how far you're prepared to travel. Then you get a short list. And then if you click on any of those, you get detail. There's also a direct link into that course at the university. And on the plus sign, again, you can add this course to your career tools. The qualifications, this is a really useful tool for students to understand what level they're working at and look at the future levels. So they can put in where they're doing GCSEs and what they're thinking of. They go right up to level 8 if they're thinking about that. And if you click on any of those links, it explains what the qualification is. Once you've added, when you've tagged something, then you can actually add the subjects you're doing and your grades and say whether they're predicted or actual. And then the next year, when you've got your results, you could go and change predicted to actual, for example. So it's a great way of students keeping everything in one place. So plan your next steps is a third stage, and this is where they can look at their full report. They can see it as a dashboard. They can look at their skills profile. We also have an action planner. We use that a lot, trying to get students to do 1 or 2 actions at the end of every career session, because it's all about them beginning to manage their own careers. So they can see their report by dashboard, which is a summary of all the different parts of their career tools. Or they can view the full report. So it can be quite detailed. If you're a careers advisor, you can actually add your report straight onto the site, and then it's visible to the student and any other teacher that's got access to that student. That report moves up every year, so they can have a snapshot from various years, so they can have multiple reports if they've been using it from year 7, for example. So that was the student side in overview. Obviously, you can have a little play yourself. I'm just going to go through some of the other zones. So the advisor zone, this is what it looks like. And now there are some free resources available, but if you've got a login for the reporting zone, an admin login, you get access to all our resources. So this is like a members area, really. So if you've got reporting zone access, you get the lot. So some of the things we've got in there, we've got activities for every age group, all sorts of things. But there's lots of free training. So that webinar I talked about, which is a follow-up to this one, which is the Getting Started with Careerpilot. If you go to the advisor zone, free training for schools and colleges, you'll see the whole program of webinars. These are all free access as well. The Getting Started with Careerpilot, using a reporting zone, using Careerpilot as careers guidance advisor, introduction to the pathway planner. Also, if you are a subscribing school or no free access area, then you can have some training at your school, all done through Teams. But we'll do an introduction to Careerpilot for your staff team, for example, and we can do one-to-one consultation for you as a careers leader about how to make best use of Careerpilot and how to get started. So what's in the members area? We've got all sorts of things. We've got a guidance document, which is about how to get started with Careerpilot, shows you what you can be doing with every year group, and shows you activities that we've got to help with that. And that's all part of that hands-on webinar. Links to that too. Hot jobs I've mentioned already. We've just launched a new pack, which is NHS Jobs Pack. So there's 12 posters of NHS jobs and 6 20-minute activities that drill down and to the detail of a particular job, useful for Key Stage 3 and 4, things you could do in 2 at a time. There's lots of maps to how Careerpilot links with Gatsby. This is one where it shows you by Benchmark how you can use Careerpilot to strategically embed Careerpilot and Gatsby in your careers program. There are 20-minute quick careers, we call these, 20-minute activities for students, 2 for each year group. And we developed these last year when COVID was meaning the students didn't get much curriculum time for careers. So at least if they got 20 minutes, it's better than nothing. And we've kept them up there for now because you might find them useful to do as part of 2 at a time. We also have careers guides, which are written by our careers advisor, who has got lots of information about the latest we know about getting into things like law or dentistry. We've also got veterinary, and she's working on medicine, and that's the latest kind of information. Parents and carers, this is the parents zone. So it mirrors Careerpilot, and they love Careerpilot, so definitely tell them about that. But if they want to know something about Choice at 16, they've got a particular question they would love to know the answer of, then they can go here and get more information. The top one trending at the moment is when can my child leave school and what the choice is for my child at 16. There's also the reporting zone. So to get access to reporting zone, you need to complete data share agreement, and then you get access to all the data from all those students who have attributed themselves to your school. So you can look at what tasks they've completed. You can set as homework, and you'll be able to see if they've done what you asked them to do. You can look at what job sectors your 12 group might be interested in or whatever. You can also drill down to the individual in the reporting zone and see their full report. And this is again where you can add the comments if you're a careers advisor or tutor or whatever. Okay, and that's what you do. You can add the action points you agree with students from here. All the students can add them themselves, and you can add your own advisor report as well. So if you want access reporting zone, obviously you need to be a subscriber in our free access area. And you can request a data sharing agreement from careerpilot@bath.ac.uk. I'll come back to that because that's our helpline email. You get assigned by somebody in SLT. You tell us who's going to be the keeper of the password. We issue the password to that person. You can sign up for any of our free training, but you can also then, as the keeper, issue passwords to all the staff members. And then you get full access to our reporting zone. Once you've got that sign-in, you can also access the student area and do the career tools, pretend you're a student, and also, as I said, you can get access to all the resources in the advisor zone. So that one login for an admin will get you into the 3 zones. So that's a bit of roundup of Careerpilot. I know it's a bit of a whistle-stop tour, but we also have the Pathway Planner. I'll just run you through that quickly. Now, we developed the Pathway Planner through a bid we put into the Careers and Enterprise Company, because there's some funding to think of new ways of delivering Gatsby 8, which is providing personal guidance. So this is what we proposed, what we piloted, and now is available for other schools to use at a small cost. So this is a model for preparing students for guidance, assessing their guidance needs and readiness for their next pathway choice, then providing guidance according to the needs of the students, and then providing some sort of follow-up. So it starts with a 1-hour session with IT, where students are introduced to the different options they're going to be choosing at the next stage. And we know they might have done things about that before through school, but on this occasion, we're making sure all the students in that classroom understand the different pathways they can choose. We've got sessions that you can deliver and adapt if you want to. And right at the end of that session, they'll be asked to do the Pathway Planner, where they're going to indicate which pathways they're interested in. And then through a quiz, we're going to tell them how ready they are for that pathway by giving them a red, amber, green score. That information then can be used by school careers leaders, careers advisors to look at that data, maybe add other information you know about that student, so you can begin to allocate guidance according to need. The guidance will take place, the report will be recorded on Careerpilot, and then 4 weeks after guidance, somebody follows up. It takes literally 5 minutes. It could be a tutor, head of 6, and they're going to ask 3 questions. And if they're at all concerned about them, what's wrapped around this model is at least 1 lunchtime a week of a drop-in. And the drop-in is a great mop-up for those students who, after their first guidance session, still require a bit more. So that becomes a referral point for tutors, for students themselves, and a great way of you mopping up people who really need that additional support. So I'll just explain it quickly. So as I said, we've got structured presentations for year 11 and 12, which you can use, and they will run through the options. Students get about 30 minutes to explore the ones they're interested in using Careerpilot. And for the last 10 minutes of the lesson, they'll be asked to complete the Pathway Planner. Now that is only available because this school have added on the Pathway Planner and made it available to this particular group. So then they're going to be able to see their next stage options. This is the post-16 version, so it shows post-18 options. So they could say, well, they're definitely considering not doing. And then for each one they're definitely considering, they do a small quiz. So we've got version for year 11, year 12, and also a college version now as well. So the quiz, the students said they definitely want to do vocational. So we're just checking out, they know about that pathway and they've done particular things. And as a result of the information they put in here, we give students a red, amber, green score. So this student is considering employment and it's green, so they know quite a bit about it. They're also, but they are definite about vocational qualifications, and they're amber. So some things they don't know or haven't done. They're considering apprenticeships and they're red for that. Now, when we allocate guidance, we go by the definite pathway. But obviously, we use all available information. So you know, if you know about their grades, that's going to help you decide, how much guidance you offer to students. So everybody's going to get guidance, which is obviously Gatsby 8. And that's all the students need to do. From the other side of the system, the reporting zone side, you can see all that information because you've got this Pathway Planner pink bit turned on. So now you can see what pathways your students are interested in at a glance and how ready they are by the answers they give. And there's various actions you can then take against the students. You can view their answers. There's a timeline, which I'll show you in a minute. You can book guidance. They'll get an email when that booking's been made. You could record a one-liner as they leave guidance, which sort of summarises where they are now. The tutor follow-up can be done from here. And if you want to add a more detailed advisor report or see other people's reports, then you can click on it from here as well. There are a range of webinars about the Pathway Planner, so I'm not going to go into much detail tonight, but you can see there's free webinars you can sign up for by going to the advisor zone, free training, and then just choose what session you want to sign up for. If you did decide the Pathway Planner was something you wanted to do, then the cost of that would be $250 per annum to use it with 11, 12, 13, or in a college it'll be $400. And when you do sign up, you get a compulsory training session, so we help you set it all up, get all the lesson plans and materials, obviously get switched on, and you then get access to all the reports. You also become a member of a user group, and that user group is kind of meeting occasionally to look at ways of actually moving the pathway planner on, so you become part of that as well. So in the advisor zone, there's a whole tile about the pathway planner if you want to find out more. So if you're not lucky enough to be in our free access area, you can become a subscriber. And the way you can do that is by paying a subscription. If you just want the 4 zones of Careerpilot near a school, that'd be $5.99. If you want to add on the pathway planner, the total will be $7.99. And you can see for colleges it's more, and for special schools it'll be less. We get fantastic feedback from students about Careerpilot. They really love having this source of information. They love the career tools, but also it really helps them to build their confidence and have a plan and know their different options. And the bits they particularly love are these. So if you have any questions, the best way to do that is to go to our helpline. The helpline is available from 9 to 3 in term time. So careerpilot@bath.ac.uk by email, or there is a phone number as well. And if you want to now sign up for the Getting Started webinar, we've got dates coming up in October and in January. And again, go to the advisor zone, free training, and then you can book yourself on to any webinars you might be interested in. So thanks for listening. I hope you want to come back to Careerpilot and would like to set up free training or just get started and using it with your students.